So you want to invest in multifamily deals, you're just getting started and you're wondering what is the actual process from the time that you find the deal to the time that you actually submit the LOI or the offer to the broker and try to actually get it awarded. In today's video, I'm going to break down every single step in the process in great detail. That way you can actually have a pathway to follow to go out and start taking some action. And make sure you stay till the end because the last step is one of the most important things that I wish I knew when first getting started. So jumping right in, step number one, before you even start looking at deals is you have to have what we call a buy box or a criteria of what types of deals, how big, how many units, what purchase price, and what types of investor returns you're looking for when you start your search, because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of multifamily buildings for sale right this second across the entire country. And so you want to narrow down to a specific market and a specific type of multifamily deal. So that way you're not wasting countless hours just spreading yourself thin looking at thousands of different deals in different markets. So for example, our buy box at Impact Real Estate is we look for specifically 100 plus unit multifamily deals all throughout the state of Florida, specifically between Tampa and Ocala, Florida, which is like the middle or north central part of Florida. This is where we already own and operate our current portfolio. So we're focused on trying to add stuff to the mix. And I'm not looking at deals in Seattle, Washington, or random parts of the country that we don't already have an existing presence in. And so if I'm a beginner, I don't own deals, I don't have any existing portfolio, then the best place to start is your backyard. And just getting started, you're probably not going to be looking at 100 plus unit deals. You're more than likely going to be focused on 5 to 10 to 16 to 24 units, anything that I refer to as small multifamily deals. So the buy box is extremely important. You have to have somewhat of a criteria of what you're focused on looking at before you even start going and looking at deals. Now, moving into step number two, now that you have criteria or a specific buy box that you're looking for, now we turn on what I call deal flow. And there's two ways that this is going to occur. You can go outbound and try to find deals like on Crexi.com. There's literally thousands of multifamily opportunities listed for sale right this second if you just went and actually started looking. And then you have inbound, which is basically you subscribing to a bunch of the brokers that actually sell multifamily buildings. You can subscribe to their email list and they send out weekly emails with new opportunities that are coming out to the market every single week. So the best two places I'm going to get deal flow is Crexi.com. I'm looking at publicly listed online multifamily deals for sale. And then also brokers are reaching out directly to me saying, hey, here's a new deal. Are you interested in it? Now, beyond that, I'm going to look at 100 deals. And of those 100 deals, I'm only probably going to spend more time on the best 10 to 20 of those deals that are most similar to my buy box and to my criteria. So if I get a random email from a broker selling a $500 million portfolio in Washington, D.C., I'm not even going to spend any time on it because I don't look at those size deals and I don't look at that market. Same thing for you. You should really only focus on deals that are in your own market. Now diving into the detail of what happens after you find the deal all the way to the minute that you submit the offer, it's actually pretty simple. Once you find the deal and it fits your buy box to a certain capacity, whether it looks good, it's in your market, and you want to spend a little bit more time on it, the very first thing I do is I look at the offering memorandum or the information that the broker has presented about the deal a little bit prior to actually reaching out to the broker and talking to them. So I'm just looking at number of units, I'm looking at the age it was built, I'm looking at what is like the story and where's the potential value add or upside that a buyer like me can go in, implement to the property, increase the value, and make all the money that we want to make. I look at it briefly before I reach out to the broker so I can try to understand the deal before I talk to him, and then I reach out to the broker and I actually talk to him. Whether or not we already have an existing relationship or not, that's always going to be the next step. So I look at the deal, then I call the broker and I say, hey, Mr. Broker, it's Gabe here. I just saw that you listed this building. I think it fits my buy box really well for X, Y, and Z reason. I think it would be a good deal for us to look at. Can you tell me the story behind this opportunity? That's like the key words with talking to brokers. Can you tell me the story? There's always a story that the broker has to tell to a potential investor. That is literally their job, to sell the upside and to sell the opportunity to an investor for them to be excited enough to submit the offer. So at that point, what you're doing is you're beginning the relationship and the interest around this deal itself. You're talking to the broker, you're listening to the story. And then as you're going through this, you're going to hear indicators from the broker or things as you're going through your due diligence that are like more and more exciting. It's a really good location. It's a really good age. There's a lot of upside on the rents because you can go in and renovate it. It's a long-term owner. Every deal is going to have different indicators. And as you do more and more of this, you'll start to really understand what makes up a great deal. So I talk to the broker, and then the very next step that actually occurs is the underwriting process. This is like one of the most important pieces to nail down when trying to get into this business. I have the initial conversation with the broker. He tells me, here's pricing, here's what we anticipate everything looking at. Now I have to go and individually verify all this. So I'm looking at the trailing 12 financials, I'm looking at the rent roll, and I'm starting to underwrite the deal using our proprietary model. So we're looking at the underwriting, we're trying to project the business plan and really actually look at the market, look at all the competitors. If we renovated these units, then what could we achieve for this rents? How much does it cost to renovate these units? And we put together an entire business plan. And then through underwriting, you ultimately come to a decision of how much you can actually pay for this building. Looking at today's interest rates, looking at the returns that you're trying to hit for investors, and looking at how much upside there is on the property. All of this stuff meshes together. You put it into an underwriting model. And at the end of the day, it's very easy to get to, hey, you want $10 million for this. I can only pay you $9 million for this building. Is that close enough? And should we continue the process or should we just sit out on this one? Now, in today's environment, every single broker in the world is going to tell you to submit that offer because the market isn't what it was in 2021 and 2022. As I'm going through underwriting, there's more than likely going to be questions that we have about the T12 and the rent roll. And this is a signal to the broker that you're serious, that you're very intentional about potentially submitting an offer on it because you're taking the time going through the financials, looking at the underwriting, looking at the rent roll, and asking specific questions about this. I'd always ask questions, even if you don't have questions, just to signal that you're a serious buyer. As we're finishing underwriting, we're starting to communicate to the broker and saying, hey, here's where we're underwriting the deal at. This is where we think it could pencil to. If for some odd reason that's like the language. This is what we think we could submit the offer at. Do you think it's worth going through the next step, which is officially touring the building and actually putting your own eyes on it, seeing the location, and actually looking at the actual building? And most of the time, it's going to be yes. Brokers are in the business of getting as many offers as possible. So you underwrite the deal, you figure out how much you can pay for it, and you're like, okay, this looks good. I think I want to move forward with it. I might be a little bit off from what their initial guidance pricing is, but the broker told me to submit the offer anyways. So now the next step in the process is to actually go out and tour the asset. This is when you're taking your business plan that you put on paper, it's a fancy Excel underwriting model, and you actually go out to the actual asset, you look at the actual location, and you start to substantiate, hey, all of these other apartment complexes are like $200 higher in rents because they're renovated, they're newer, they're nicer. Is it very feasible for us to buy this building, renovate it, and actually get these rents for this unit condition? And you're actually substantiating your underwriting or your business plan by going and touring the asset. And then between the time that you tour the asset and the time that you actually submit the offer, this is why I say it's the most important piece, is you have to have a network of potential partners or investors that you could actually bring this opportunity to start saying, hey, I found a deal. I did all the hard work on it. It's underwritten. Here's the numbers. It looks really good. I'm about to go and submit the offer. I'm looking for some potential partners that want to partner with me on this deal. That way, as you're going in and submitting your LOI, you can use not only your experience and your resume, but you can also leverage your partner's experience and your partner's resume, and it makes it a lot better whenever it comes time to submit the offer. All of the information about the deal, I've toured it, I've underwritten it. Here's all of the information that an investor is going to need to see. I'm presenting it to a couple of investors that I have already built relationships with. And then we have, hey, I like the deal. Let's go ahead and submit the offer. And that's really the last step in the process. Most of the time, there's a call for offers from the brokers. It's just an end date when they're going to stop fielding offers and when they're going to award that deal to somebody. Let's say it's on a Thursday or on a Friday. I'm having conversations with investors the week before and leading up to the end of the call for offers period. I've gotten my preliminary commitment from an investor. I'm sending in my LOI to that broker on Wednesday or Thursday. And then from that point on, it's a matter of where did you submit the offer at? How strong is your offer? How strong is your partnership team? And then do they actually award the deal to you or not? Now, wrapping it up to manage your expectations, most likely the first couple of deals that you submit offers on are not likely to get accepted. And it's just totally okay. We're in an environment where there's still more than just one offer on every single deal. And if you manage your own expectations, if you go out and you commit to submitting between 5 to 10 offers before you actually expect to get the very first one awarded to you, then you're going to be incentivized to take as much action as possible. That way you can force yourself to getting into your very first multifamily deal. So I know that was a lot. I told you up front we were going to go into great detail. So very quick recap on what actually we just went through. Number one, you have to have a target or a defined buy box or specific criteria that you're looking for. Once you have that, you can start to turn the deal flow on. You look at Crexi.com for new opportunities. You get emails from brokers or wholesalers that are sending them to you. You filter through all of those deals. You're probably only going to spend time on between 10 to 20% of them. And then as you're looking at the deals that kind of fit your criteria, you're filtering the ones that are the most likely for you to actually go out and try to submit offers on. You take a look at the packet, you call the broker, you have that conversation with them. That's like starting point of there's this deal, here's this potential investor, they're interested in it. Let me make sure I follow up with them. That's the broker's opinion on you. You look at the deal, you start to underwrite it using the financials, you put together your business plan and you figure out how much you can pay for it. Then moving into the next step, if you like the deal and you like the pricing on it, you go out and you tour the asset, you visit all of the nearby apartment complexes, then you put together a team/network of potential partners and you submit the LOI. We've done this process hundreds of times and it becomes something that just becomes very routine. After each deal hits your inbox, you have to determine which ones you want to spend the most time. In reality, if you can get into the groove of submitting 1 to 2 offers per month on a multifamily deal, especially if you have the network or the ability to partner with people, there's no reason for you not to be under contract and either closing your first multifamily deal within the first 6 to 12 months of actually going after it. So hopefully that was in detail enough for you. Obviously, we could spend hours and hours and hours talking about each one of these things. So let me know down below your thoughts on today's video. And then quick reminder, if you do need help or you're looking for access to potential investors or partners or people that you can surround yourself with and try to do these deals together, make sure you check out the Deal Room community. All you have to do is click the link down below in the description and apply to join the community. We'd love to have you inside. We can help you with the underwriting, we can help you with the partnerships, and we can help you close on deals. And again, let me know down below what your favorite part about today's video was. And as always, I will see you in the next one.